The weird texting habit of the narcissist is so disgusting and embarrassing. A narcissist's primary mission: maintain control, obtaining enough supply from you always, even when separated. The goal: to manipulate you into submission, exerting an influence over you from afar. And if texting is involved, their job becomes all the easier. This is precisely what we'll be examining in this episode: a deep dive into the 5 selfish texting habits of a narcissist. But first, make certain to smash that subscribe button so you don't miss another episode of this channel's invaluable content. And don't forget to activate notifications by hitting the bell icon. In the event you're listening to this podcast on another platform, we urge you to hit that follow button and subscribe to access a wealth of knowledge to benefit your life. 1. The narcissist's irreverent texting behavior. A trap for the unwary. When the narcissist decides to text, no boundaries exist for them. They couldn't care less about your boundaries, your routine, or the time of day. Sleeping, waking up, in a meeting, none of that matters. All that's important to them is to have your attention, and when possible, keep it. The narcissist believes that they own you, and your attention is their entitlement. You can't afford to focus on anything else. Not your job, nor your daily functions, and definitely not your life activities. It has to be their attention at all times. If not, it's deemed a betrayal of their established order and loyalty, which tightens the grip of the trap they set in motion. Addicted to the narcissist's texting behavior, you become anxious within any attempts to pull away from the exchange. Constantly comparing anticipation, you are nowhere near aware of when you're getting the next message, or the corresponding pressure to have a reply ready. The pattern is incredibly intense, round the clock, without consideration for the context or situational nuance. Presumably, your communication habits should suggest mutual interest. Still, what manifests is an exertion of control under the guise of trying to know you better. A careful trap designed more around addiction and exerting influence than any sincere engagement. Tolerating these text responses signifies the first step in a distressing sequence. They have a hold over your biochemistry, which is only confirmed by the gnawing anxiety, lingering stress, and uncontrollable urges that you feel. As though swayed away by an alternate nervous system, that texting habit that sparked an illusion of desire now generates altered pathways to chaos. With your addiction to the messaging pattern, you remain uncertain as to when it will end. The trouble is, when their interest fades, the devaluation starts, and you're left alone to deal with the shambles. How close you've come to the trap only surfaces at the moment of abandonment, when it's too late to break free. 2. Hypocritical narcissism. Ignoring you, mindlessly searching for supply. When you're together, physically present, they're not truly present. Their phone constantly buzzing, notifications pouring in, it is evident that they're in plenty of digital conversations with other sources of supply. It's understandable to feel ignored, another painful confirmation of one's self-worth depleting day by day. This kind doesn't see you as an important part of their life. You're just a message, someone who satiates the need for attention. They never cared for your presence unless it added to their value in some insidious and manipulative way. Misguided into this trap, they don't care about anything else because they own you now. You keep begging for their attention, questioning your worth, because you've seen the person they once were, and it's like a star fading in the sky. They deny you and justify their devaluation, the fallout of which is a desolate and isolating sense of worthlessness. 3. Sexting with a narcissist. Provocative shortcuts to degrading you. Sexting isn't inherently wrong. However, when it comes to a narcissist, their perverse texting is primed for sexting especially early in the relationship. After the first contact, before you make up your mind, they bombard you with provoking ayes and expect the same in return, often without considering how you feel about it. They merely want to strip you of your defenses, no matter the consequences, and take advantage of you. That is the ultimate goal: degradation. You may participate in sexting, but in the end, when the devaluation starts, you'll experience overwhelming shame and self-criticism, unable to see what is their remorseless and manipulative design of degradation and dispossession. They do it solely to prey on people because it gratifies their desires even before they congratulate themselves on the accomplishment. They have other people in line of waiting and alternate with them, the chase for nudes and other provocative material, all for their purposes of leverage and control. Once obtained, they forget about the source until they again decide when they should satisfy their perverse longings. 4. Trauma bonding. Whimsical texting with a narcissist. At night, or occasionally, they might reach out and partake in a fun and witty conversation, one that seemed heartfelt and touching. It just made you feel acknowledged and linked with them. This whimsical texting occurs mostly in the advanced stages of the devaluation process, where it is used as bait for the prey. Maybe they're in a good mood or looking for something from you. Some motive hides behind this whimsical texting that you can't recognize. It feels special and unique, but deep down, it is just a manipulation technique. Then, boom, the conversation ends, and it's unlikely to happen again, unless they need something from you. Such episodes keep reinforcing the distorted bond with them, and the memory of once feeling fulfilled. This cognitive dissonance flares up emotions and makes the victim doubt their judgment of the narcissist, rationalizing that they're not so bad or narcissistic if they had such a heartfelt conversation with them. However, it is just a form of leverage, a way to lure the victim back, and they do not see the victim as a valuable person, but only think of how it benefits them. Once their desires are met, they discard away the victim until the next time they need something. 5. Narcissistic mind games. The uncertainty of mysterious texts. They hook you with a small, insignificant text, the kind that has no content and interests but seems friendly. For instance, they might text you good morning at 9:00 a.m., but when you reply, it leads nowhere. They merely push a button that elicits a reaction from you, knowing you're still around, and then darting off, savouring your agony. It's a twisted mind game, back and forth, push and pull, that drives people to desperation. It's uncontrollable because the victim doesn't know where they stand, what their status is, or what's going on. It's perplexing, leaving the victim hanging, only to ignore them in return, and if the victim ignores them, they reappear with another bait text, which is deviously potent. It appears that no matter the response, you're caught in the narcissist's game, which induces suffocation and a feeling of abandonment. This pattern repeats itself over and over, eroding the victim's sense of self and leaving them a mere shell. It is a cycle that exists to maintain their control and power. Have you experienced these mind games with your narcissistic counterpart? Please share in the comments below, and maybe it will contribute to the healing process.